Hey everybody, I'm Matt Williamson, and today's video, if you clicked on the thumbnail, you saw a picture of Charlie Watts getting out of a car and meeting Ringo Starr, and they're about to embrace. These two old drummers from one of the great fraternities, and that is the 60s musicians. And it just warmed my heart to see that. And it reminded me of a video that I wanted to do a year ago, and I kind of decided not to do it. But because of the passing of Charlie Watts, I thought, well, I think I'm going to bring this out and see what you think about it. Because Charlie Watts, he's a heavy hitter. And when you lose a heavy hitter like that, you start to, some things get put in perspective a little bit. So I had, the video I was originally going to do had to do with some of our heroes in the music world from the 60s in particular, how they're aging, and we're going to start losing them at a rapid rate here. And I've got a list here of about 30 or so performers. All will be well known to you. And on the top of the list, I have what I call the big three. I've got Jagger, McCartney, and Dylan. Now, these three guys are arguably, of those that remain, the biggest artists and most important artists of the second half of the 20th century. I mean, there's really very little competition past those three guys and what their contributions were. And right now, Mick Jagger, he's 78, McCartney 79, and Dylan 80. So Charlie Watts just passed away at 80. So this is getting to that age where it's not a surprise to pass at 80. And as we know, rock stars don't last long, so making it to 80 is pretty good. And I made this list here. After the big three, I've got Ringo, who's 81, Keith Richards at 77, Diana Ross, 77, Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys at 79, Eric Clapton, 76, Smokey Robinson's 81, and Paul Simon's 79. So that's a pretty important top 10, and they're all entering that age now. Let me continue here. The next five, we've got Tina Turner at 81, Bill Wyman at 84, Grace Slick at 81, Pete Townsend 76, Jeff Beck 77. The next five, Joni Mitchell 77, Sly Stone 78, David Crosby 80, Ray Davies 77, and Jimmy Page 77. Now, I would say those were the 20 probably most influential, maybe if you wanted the biggest stars or the, I don't know. I mean, these could be interchangeable. I've got a few more here that didn't make that top 20. Let me rattle them off for you here. We've got Eric Burdon at 80, Roger McGuinn at 79, Steve Stills at 76, Steve Cropper 79, John Sebastian at 77, Art Garfunkel 79, Graham Nash 79, Phil Lesh 81, John Fogerty 76, and Robbie Robertson at 78. So these people were absolute trailblazers, and they blazed the trail so much that it's like charred ruins now, that everybody that followed them, there was less trails to blaze because of these people. And it made me think, well, who's going to replace these people? Will we be able to, 15 years from now, and these people are probably all gone, will we be able to make a list of the next batch of people that would be this influential? And I started to try to make that list. It was a lot harder to make. And I thought, well, you got Springsteen and Elton John and Robert Plant. But Springsteen really isn't a Dylan. And Elton John isn't really a McCartney. Robert Plant's really not a Jagger. So we got a little bit of a step down, you know. So I don't know. It's just going to be kind of interesting because all these years we've had the performers I've just listed here, many of these people have still toured, particularly Jagger, Dylan, McCartney. So for decades, we've been purchasing their music, you know, consuming it, help getting it on the charts, requesting it. We've been going to see them live and interacting with them that way. Their music has been essentially a soundtrack to our lives. So it's a big part of what we've been immersed in this art. One of the artistic things we have been immersed in is this pop music. And I wonder if that will continue on with other artists. You know, it's different now because we don't listen to the radio in the same way we used to. I mean, everybody used to listen to a lot of the same stuff. and it just was like a soundtrack in the background of our lives. And a lot of us shared the same experiences and listened to the same music. I see it much more segmented now. So what's going to occupy the space after these musicians pass? I don't know. I just was at an interesting art exhibit. It was called Beyond Van Gogh. And if any of you are Van Gogh fans, if this exhibit comes to your town, I would highly recommend checking it out, because what it was there were no paintings there, for one. What they did is they had a huge space, like 3 basketball courts, that size space, with like 20-foot walls, and the artwork of Van Gogh was projected in every inch of those walls and on the floor with these very high-end projectors, so that there were no shadows cast on the art that you were walking on. And what they were doing is it was building. Some of these art paintings were being painted and animated. It was really fascinating. I felt completely immersed in Van Gogh's work, and it reminded me a little bit of the music that we've listened to. I have felt completely immersed in some of these artists' work for so many years. And it was just a great experience to feel that in a different medium. Now, typically I don't get too teary-eyed when it comes to rock stars passing. Some are bigger surprises than others, especially when we lose them young. I look at this whole list here, I'm a little bit, I guess I'm just sad because I'm getting older, you know. Really, I think that's part of what I'm going through. And part of what I want to do with this channel is to leave behind some more information on these artists so that we have something, you know, it's honoring them. It really is. And it's one of my intentions with this channel. And I also want to teach people if they want to learn more about certain artists. So I guess I'm hoping that the generations that follow us will have similar lists like this and be able to say, these were big contributors and the loss will be heavy. I don't know how those people will be on that list, but I'm probably the wrong person to make it anyway. So anyway, I thought I'd just leave that with you. Charlie Watts had some wonderful memorial videos. I've seen many of them, and I just wanted to give a little bit of a different take, with Charlie Watts being kind of the instigator of it. And I also wanted to thank you for watching my channel and sticking with me and helping my channel grow. And if you get a chance, hug a drummer today. Thanks for watching.